Hey everybody, welcome to Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Today I'm looking at these Marvel Legends retro figures with the Kenner name, and you can't be an old Gen X fart like me without, the Kenner name sort of doing something for you, as that was the name under which Star Wars figures were manufactured. Oh. And so these I ran into recently. I believe they started producing them in maybe 2021. I'd actually got a few. Let's light him out of the way for a moment. I got a few of these Iron Man figures on card, unpunched, on an auction site for a pretty good price. And I thought, well, maybe I'll resell them at some point in the future. I got 5 of these. And I'd always thought, well, I'll open one of them. I don't need these things, but what the heck. I love Iron Man. This is my favorite Iron Man armor. And, I can open one just for fun. You look at the back here. We got a little bio in English, in French, in German, Spanish, and maybe Portuguese. Anyways, so these come from 2021, not very long ago. So I opened one up, finally, months later, as I was kind of cleaning my office. And I was immediately struck with just how cool they are. So that got them on my radar. And then I saw this bad boy show up. 2023, Ghostrider, Johnny Blaze, on his motorcycle. And it was, not super expensive, but enough that I'm like, I don't need one of these things. And then Amazon did their little, post-Thanksgiving sale. And one of these was on special. And I said, okay, what the heck? Let's go for it. Now, this is from the era of Marvel Comics that I collected quite a bit in terms of the look and the feel of the characters. 70s, 80s, Bronze Age Marvel. And that's really where my love of Marvel Comics lies. Sort of get the... Yeah, I know. The lighting's terrible doing it that way, but anyways. So I couldn't resist. I went ahead and got this. Now, this is not an unboxing. I've had this guy sitting on my desk at work for a while, but between the Iron Man and this Ghostrider, I started looking for other figures. And I thought I'd show a few of them off today. So yeah, I kind of tossed these in this box because these have all been sitting on my desk. In fact, let's move this out of the way. We can show them off down here. So, of course, here's Iron Man out of the box. The classic armor. More or less like Star Wars figures. Arms move. Legs move. Head turns. What? Over there? And some of them, maybe most of them, you can also move the hands. So you notice now his hand is sort of pointing outward. And now we can move it the other way. If that's particularly noticeable. Maybe we could do it this way. Zoop. Okay. Now obviously, Johnny Blaze character more or less relies on that if he's going to hold on to his motorcycle handlebars. So there we go. So there's a classic Iron Man. This could be Tony Stark, or it could be James Rhodes. Loved Rhodey when he was Iron Man. Have never cared for War Machine. I just didn't, I don't know. I don't like the name that much. It's very 90s extreme, and honestly, I don't know. It doesn't feel heroic to me. That feels like the name of a villain, but whatever. That's your classic Iron Man. Let's set you over here. We got classic 80s Wolverine. Get him up there, and we can maybe try to give it a focus a little better. Doesn't look like it wants to quite, but either way. This is the Wolverine costume that I remember when I started collecting. Now his forearms move too, which is actually kind of cool. You can put the blades up like that. Head moves, legs move, etc. And one thing I like is it's not just a repaint of Iron Man. I don't know if we can make this obvious enough. No, that's probably the worst way to do that. But Iron Man's taller than Wolverine. You have a genuine height difference here between the two characters. So I dig that they actually went to that trouble of not just going, make Wolverine the same size, so we don't have to retool anything. Wolverine's a little top heavy. It's that huge chest of his. I managed to get a Black Panther. Very cool. Let's see. We can get a little. Obviously, because of the color of the costume, stays a little bit dark. And I noticed too that these guys have the holes in the bottom, like the old Star Wars figures, and I think G.I. Joe. So you could put them on little stands. I haven't found much need to do that at work. Where they're all sitting is generally fine. We got Spidey in the black costume, which wasn't just when it was the alien costume. He also wore it for a time after he got rid of the symbiote, Spider-Man, and before he became Venom. And maybe some folks can correct me. I want to say, I'm trying to remember if he finally got rid of the costume after Venom attacked MJ or showed up at the place, or if that was because of Kraven the Hunter and like Kraven's Last Hunt, which was a really big story back in the day, and an interesting one when you consider that they're making a Kraven movie now that, from what I can tell, has nothing to do with that. Because, why on earth would you base a movie on a comic book that did extremely well? That would be stupid. At least for modern Hollywood. I don't know what they're doing half the time anymore. And I don't think they do either. Okay, let's get to the piece de résistance. Johnny Blaze on his motorcycle. It does stand up. There's a little kickstand, so it will stand up on its own. Oops. There we go. I don't know if you can notice it well, but you have translucent flames on the head. The classic costume. This, I think, is one of the coolest toys I've seen manufactured in a long time. And it feels like a toy that we could have gotten back in the 70s or 80s. The bike, to me, has shades of the Evel Knievel stunt bikes. And you'll notice, obviously, forearms turned so that they can hold onto the handlebars. And if you really wanted to, you could have Wolverine riding this bad boy, probably. Ooh, you know what, though? He's got some pretty thick thighs. I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't. Maybe he wouldn't be able to. And I will say you can't tell as much here, but the front wheel does turn, But obviously that gets in the way when he's on the bike. But if you were displaying it, you could turn it that way. Is that not cool? I couldn't resist this thing, especially when it went on sale. That was a done deal. Now, I have also run across a version with DC characters, and I'm not sure. I don't have the package handy, but this is another one I got off of auction a while ago, and that's Raven. Now there are some differences here. If you notice, you have bendable knees, which are sort of her outfit kind of gets in the way of that a little bit. Bendable elbows as well. Head, well, I don't know if her head turns. I think it does, but it's, oh yeah, it does turn. Oh, kind of goes up and down a little bit too. So a little bit more range of movement with this one. The cape is sort of a thick rubber. I would love to get the rest of the new Teen Titans in this format. I don't know if there are any other DC characters at this particular size range, but very cool. So these are some first of all, I don't know how sturdy they would be if these were getting played with by kids all the time. They may not work well in that regard. But they look like toys we would have had back in the 80s. For sure. And I can imagine having a lot of fun with these. There are lots of characters in the Marvel series. They got Firestar. They got Iceman. I want to get those, obviously, with Spidey, because those are really ones that we could have had back in the 80s playing. You didn't have to even be a comic book kid to be watching Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Obviously, I got to get the Thing, because he's like my favorite Marvel character of all time. They're gorgeous little figures. I mean, beautifully sculpted and very toyetic, as some people say. They feel like toys. They don't feel like something specifically made for collectors, even though, in all actuality, that's probably exactly what they really are, which is a shame. I'll tell you what, if I had kids of the right age for this kind of stuff, I would very happily, buy maybe one for myself that I could sort of show off, and buy one for the kids to go and just play with. Because, I don't know, it seems like kids don't have enough in the way of toys these days. They spend a lot of time with digital things, maybe not as much time with something physical that you can play and, be kind of, I don't know, kinetic with. I guess Gregory could show up as the Hulk if we needed him to. Yeah, I just finished making that other video too. So there we have it. Marvel Legends Retro Figures Kenner, which is the perfect brand to do these with because of its association with Star Wars figures, which these are very much like. Now, back in the day, we did have the Secret Wars figures, which would have been, I believe, bigger than these, and Superpowers, also, I believe, bigger than these. And those are very cool figures as well. But if I'm honest, these look a lot closer to the characters we actually saw in the comic books back then than those guys did. Oh man, if they could make another one of these, a bike with Captain America, like from those TV movies from the late 70s, I think. Maybe early 80s. I think it was like 70s, though. Which are worth watching, by the way. They're not great, but Red Brown is cool, and Christopher Lee's in one of them as a villain. I love this Black Panther one. These are just really great looking figures, and I saw a few of them at a Big Lots for like $5 a pop and didn't buy them. On eBay, you're going to be looking anywhere from, say, $10 to $25. I'm sure there's, differences in rarity for some of these guys. That'll have an impact. But, if there's one or two characters that you love, you could probably get them on there without spending a lot of money. But very, very cool figures if you're a aficionado of Marvel in the 70s and 80s. Gen X, older millennial. You were there for the end of the Bronze Age, beginning of the modern age. Or there in the 70s, maybe you're what's that? Oh, the Me generation. Maybe you're a little Me generation kid. You might want to check these out. Very cool. And again, very cool box art for Ghostrider. Good looking card art all around for these figures. So they would display very, very nicely in, mint on card, in original box. Well, in original box would be a little tough with Ghostrider, I suppose, since you wouldn't be able to see him. Maybe you can put him on top of the box. Either way, that'll wrap it up for today. Marvel Legends Retro and the Teen Titans. Definitely some more. I'm going to try to get some more of these. I'm not going to seriously try to collect everything, but there's a few more characters I'd like to get, and they really are beautiful little figures, and would make really nice display pieces for folks. Or I think they're inexpensive enough. You might just buy them and give them to your kids to play with, and who knows? Maybe throw a comic book in there as well. And then maybe it'll inspire them to do a little reading. So that'll do it for Dad's Den of Pop Culture today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Maybe think about subscribing if you have a love of American pop culture from the, 30s all the way into the 90s. I try to cover a lot of topics: toys, comics, books, TV, movies, etc. So you might want to subscribe, maybe share with a friend if you think they might enjoy one of these videos. In the meantime, God bless everybody out there. Try to be kind to one another and try to have some fun. And I'll see you next time in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.